On our recent trip to Africa, we saw lots of different animals. How many are lots? To the best of my knowledge, we saw at least 60 different species of animals. This includes over 30 species of birds, 25 species of mammals, 8 species of reptiles, a few insects, at least one arthropod, and at least one mollusk. Much to my disappointment, but not surprise, we did not see any gorillas, chimpanzees, or orangutans. In order to see them, we would have had to go a few hundred miles north to the countries of the Congo, Uganda, or Kenya. To see what we did see, come along on our trip, and we will show you. Although there are many interesting things to see and do in Africa, I think most people go to see the animals. The main animals they want to see are called the Big Five, pictured here. The Big Five are lions, elephants, rhinoceroses, leopards, and Cape buffalo. They are called the Big Five because they are the most poached animals and also the most difficult and dangerous to hunt on foot. There are only 11 countries in the world that have the Big Five, and they are all in Africa. Lions are called the king of the jungle, or king of the animals, primarily because they have no natural predators. There are some other reasons, including because the mane of the male lion represents a royal crown like a king, and all other animals fear their mighty roar. We did not see many lions, and the ones we did see mostly just laid in one spot. The average male lion is about 7 feet in length and weighs 420 pounds. They are unique among the cat family as they live together in strong social groups. Although the Cape buffalo was one of the Big Five and seemed to be near the top of everyone's list to see, they were close to the bottom on my list. I much preferred watching the baboons, the monkeys, giraffes, and several other animals. Although the Cape buffalo and the water buffalo look very similar, there are some differences. Cape buffaloes live in Africa and water buffaloes live in Asia. The easiest way to tell them apart is by their horns. A Cape buffalo horns grow almost together at the top and curl down much lower. Another big difference is their temperament. Water buffaloes are easily domesticated and are used for plowing, milk, and meat. On the average, the Cape buffalo is a little taller. The Cape buffaloes weigh up to 2,000 pounds, and the water buffalo weigh up to 2,600 pounds. The crocodile we see here, as well as the water buffalo, we saw on a cruise along the Zambia River. One of the most elusive animals to find are leopards. We saw one briefly on a night safari, but was unable to get a picture of it. The only other one we saw was at Glen Afric Game Lodge, but they kept their predator animals in zoo-like structures instead of running wild. Leopards are found throughout sub-Saharan Africa, in India, and Southeast and East Asia. They are a threatened species and only live in about 25% of the places they used to live in. Elephants were the big five animal we saw the most of. I'm sure we saw several hundred, and that was fine with us, as they were our favorite animal to watch. I made a separate video of them, so the only things I want to add here are, just like human fingerprints, every elephant's footprints are unique. They are the most social land mammal. The two places we enjoyed seeing the elephants the most were swimming across the Zambezi River on a river cruise and watching them play in the water in mud holes at Adu Elephant National Park. There is something unusual about most of the rhinoceroses that we saw. They are missing their horns. The rangers removed them in both Pilanesberg and Chobe National Park to protect them from poachers. Their horns are worth about $60,000 per kilogram on the black market, or more valuable than gold. They are sold mostly in China for medical purposes, even though research has shown they have no medical value. An elephant is the heaviest land animal, but giraffes are the tallest. The average adult is 18 feet tall, but some are as tall as 20 feet. A baby giraffe is about 6 feet tall at birth. They sleep standing up and only sleep 5 to 30 minutes a day. We saw a lot of zebras on our trip in a lot of various places. Zebras are preyed on mostly by lions, but also fall prey to, especially the babies, by leopards, cheetahs, hyenas, wild dogs, and hippos in the water. Despite watching a zebra being ridden in the Swiss Family Robinson movie, zebras are very difficult to domesticate. They have been trained to pull carts, but riding them is extremely rare. Like the fingerprints on a human or the footprints of an elephant, the stripes on a zebra are unique to each individual zebra. The name hippopotamus means river horse, although they're related more to a dolphin and a pig than a horse. Hippopotamuses, or hippos, are the third heaviest land animal after elephants and rhinos. They can weigh up to 4,000 pounds. Their life expectancy is 35 to 50 years in the wild, but up to 60 in captivity. Although hippos spend most of the day in the water, they do not eat in the water. They do all of their eating on land, mostly at night and early morning, eating mostly grass, reeds, and green shoots. We are switching from one of the largest animals to one of the smallest. Nevertheless, they are quite interesting. Dung beetles feed on feces, and some raise their young there. Many dung beetles, known as rollers, roll dung into small balls, which are used as a food source and breeding grounds. It is against the rules to drive over a dung beetle, so you have to watch very closely as you drive down the road. We were told that a dung beetle could puncture a tire. I'm not sure I believe that, though. What do crocodiles eat? About anything they want to, including fish, birds, turtles, frogs, snakes, wild boars and wildebeest, as well as sharks. Crocodiles live throughout the tropics in Africa, Asia, the Americas, and Australia. The largest crocodile ever measured was 20 feet 3 inches long and weighed 2,370 pounds. But the average adult male is about 11.5 feet and weighs around 900 pounds. The average lifespan of a crocodile is 30 to 40 years, but have been known to live as long as 70 years. This was a very common sign we passed by on the roads, as baboons were seen along the roads in a lot of places. I thought baboons and elephants were the most enjoyable of all the animals we've seen to watch. There are 6 species of baboons. The ones that we saw in South Africa are chukumbas. They average about 3.5 feet tall and weigh 70 pounds in weight. They eat a variety of foods, such as grass, roots, tubers, bugs, seeds, nuts, fruits, small mammals, birds, and shellfish. They live to be about 30 years of age. Although we saw a few wildebeest, this is the only picture of one I could find that I took. So I have borrowed a few from the internet, which are much better than the ones I took. We did not see what I think would be truly amazing to see, the Great Migration. It is the largest overland migration in the world, in which animals travel about 500 miles from the Serengeti in Tanzania northward to better grasslands. There are between 1.5 to 2 million wildebeest in the migration, usually over 300,000 zebras, as well as thousands of other animals. Truly a sight to behold. Warthogs are another animal that we saw several of in several places. They have very distinct tusks, which reach a length of 25 inches. They are about 2 feet high, about 5 feet in length, and weigh up to 330 pounds. They mostly eat grasses, roots, bark, insects, and fruit, but occasionally will eat small animals. The most interesting thing I learned about them is that they can go without water for up to a year. They are very fun to watch run with their tails high. It is probably fortunate that we did not see many snakes, only 3, I think. This one was right below our deck at Shepherd's Tree Lodge. It is a puff adder and is responsible for the most snake bite fatalities in Africa. But which animal kills the most people? The mosquito, followed by hippos, elephants, crocodiles, lions, buffaloes, sharks, rhinos, and 9th, the puff adder. A red hartebeest. A Cape fox, a Cape dwarf gecko, a rock monitor lizard, a flap-necked chameleon at night is hard to find, a leopard tortoise, a black-backed jackal, we've seen hundreds, perhaps thousands of these. They are impalas. Our guide referred to them as McDonald's because they are very good to eat, both for people and predators, such as lions and leopards, and because of the black arch on their rumps. Bantam mongoose are about 18 inches long, 15 inches tall, and weigh about 5 pounds. Their tail adds about 14 inches to them. They eat mostly insects, especially termites, millipedes, small reptiles, and birds. Like baboons, vervet monkeys were almost everywhere. Although they're considered as pests by most South Africans, we really enjoyed their playful behaviors. An animal doesn't have to be big and dangerous to enjoy watching. We enjoyed watching these snails move about on Strand Beach. They may seem slow, but compared to an oyster, they move quite rapidly. A meerkat. Waterbuck, a secretary bird, we are looking at the world's fastest animal, a cheetah. We didn't see any cheetahs in the wild. This one was at Glen Afric Game Lodge, but confined to a small area. Cheetahs look very similar to leopards, but their spots are a little bit different and they're smaller. Cheetahs can run up to 58 miles per hour for a long distance while hunting and can run up to 75 miles per hour in short bursts. We've seen a lot of these. This is a giant African millipede. It is the largest of over 10,000 species of millipedes. They are only found naturally in subtropical Africa. They are about 13 inches long at maturity. Despite their name, they don't have 1,000 legs, usually only about 300. This is a male ostrich on the left and a female on the right. A male ostrich courting a female. Ostriches are the largest and heaviest birds. They can grow up to 9 feet tall and weigh up to 350 pounds. They can run up to 45 miles per hour. The ostriches we are looking at here are by the Cape of Good Hope. Their eggs are about 24 times bigger than a chicken egg and weigh close to 3.5 pounds. We finish our video with a stop at Boulders Beach, looking at some African penguins, also known as South African penguins, Cape penguins, or jackass penguins. They are called jackass penguins due to their loud donkey-like noise. They live only in South African waters. They can grow up to 2 feet 4 inches and weigh up to 7.5 pounds. They feed primarily on fish and squid. When I think of the penguins, I think about a song from Annie. It's a hard knock life. Their population is declining. There were about 4 million of them at the beginning of the 19th century, 1.5 million by 1910, and only about 50,000 today, which puts them on the endangered species list. When they are in the water, they are in danger of being eaten by sharks and seals. On land, they are killed, especially the chicks, by gulls, Cape genets, mongooses, caracals, and domesticated dogs and cats. In addition to all those problems, many chicks die due to dehydration in the hot South African sun. It is indeed a hard-knock life for these wonderful birds.